What's up, guys? Team Woodman's here, and we got a...
Nova Grappler?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nova Grappler deck profile.
Alright, so this deck is very... I've been trying to tweak it 100,000 times, and I can't seem to get like the actual formula that I like for it.
You love the deck.
It's something.
It's the it's Robot Aqua Force.
Can you see my phone?
No.
I'm sorry, this is camera.
No. So as a starter, I'm gonna start playing Cabatron. Alright. So I've tried Cabatron, I've tried Rumble. Rumble works very well, but recently there's been just a surge of just fire dragons everywhere.
Kagura.
I hate Kagura.
I love Kagura.
So Rumble doesn't live to see more than like a couple of turns. So I mean, Cabatron doesn't get to see that much fight either, because a lot of the times he does get retired. But if they let him live, he has one push, and his push is actually really good. His ability is kind of last one, put him in soul, stand something else, and give it 2k. He makes your grade 2s into 11ks. For the rest of the turn, you're just going to start standing them, giving them the 5k boosts, and they become 16 and ridiculous numbers afterwards. So he puts in the work.
You hear that, Kagura players? Pick up them Gallon Claws. Kill it.
Kagura. Okay, so 4 of the main guy, Victor. Don't play any less than this. This card is amazing. He's probably, in my opinion, he's probably the best strider, hard stride, whatever you call it, in the game. GB2 skill and regular skill is great. The only thing is he's Counterblast heavy. His on stride skill is on stride. He gives the ability to the stride unit that when it swings, you Counterblast one, stand another unit, and give it 5k. And his GB2 is the same thing, but just as when he swings himself, and it doesn't kind of cost anything. And he gives himself 5k, I believe.
Yeah, both the unit and himself get 5k.
So
it's not bad. Even if you have a booster, he's 16.
That's nuts. And you play him obviously for the name as well. Like, he's just a great unit all around. Okay, so for the second grade 3s, this is like the dilemma of the lifetime. So I'm playing the old guy again, just because I have like a theory in terms of like the secondary grade 3 that you want it to have either a really good stride for the name, as like the specific strides, or for it to do something on ride, and then when you're not on stride. I've tried the Crystal Skull dude, but he has to have at least one card on the field that's good for it to do anything. And like I said, that doesn't really happen. No Grappler is not able to replenish their field at all. So if they see a card on the field that you put on the second turn, they'll just punch it, and then your Crystal Skull will restand Rumble. Doesn't do anything.
And then
Dan Shark is terrible right now. We don't have enough rush units, and even if as a rear guard unit he counterblasts as well for nothing, like he retires a unit if he hits, which you don't really. This deck shouldn't retire. You kill you don't have to worry about retiring your opponent's units because they're dead. Like by the time that they notice, they're already at 6. So this card, his ability is on ride. You counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Choose one of your units, put it on the field, which is why I like him, and give it 5k for the turn. So the rest of your units will push that unit that you just gave 5k to stand ridiculously, and he works. You can just ride him, activate his skill, and then stride. That's great. So that's why I play him. For grade 2s, which is the most important part of Nova Grappler, I'm playing 3 of the Victor specific guy.
The Glimmer Clone?
Aberrail, correct. The Glimmer Breath clone, his ability is, he's a rare. Cattle Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, on call. If you have a Victor Vanguard, he gains 2k, which makes him 11k, which is always relevant, especially in this deck. And then the ability that when he swings at Vanguard, your opponent, stand one of your own units and give it 5k. So
it's only once per turn.
Oh, once per turn, of course.
Maybe because like you can just keep standing him, just.
It'd be nuts. So yeah, really good card. 3 of more restanding. Cool Hank. Cool Hank is the on boost swing. Counterblast 1. Choose one of your rear guards to restand and give it 5k. All 3. This is your restand engine basically, along with your Vanguard, of course. And these are the units that you want to protect. Luckily, he only activates as soon as you call him, so he just stops away after that. But everyone hits him.
I hate him.
Everybody hates him. He's gonna be your like he won't live more than the turn that you put him down.
Him and the other bastard.
3 of okay. So I've been putting. This is the weird tech. I've tried the blue boy, the one that every time he restands he gives himself 5k.
Yeah, but the worst one.
Yeah, that card is nuts for Nova Grappler. But I've noticed that I've been messing around with the numbers a lot, and I'm playing instead of him 3 of the 12k attacker right now, mainly because a lot of the time the main board that you want to see at least for the row would be a power unit, and then you're gonna see him later the grade 1 for Victor to get big. For me, a lot of the time I'll just swing unboosted first to then stand and activate the skill of the booster. And then when he boosts, that'll be the main attack. What is his name? The blue guy?
Sazanda.
Thank you. Sazanda on first swing will only swing for 9. You can swing at a rear guard, that's fine, but he will push up to 12 for hit your opponent's Vanguard. And with that setup,
that's why you have him with Rumball.
correct. I mean that's true with the rum, but I mean I use the rum ball to use it for him instead, and I don't know. Like my setups have been really weird recently, and I don't always have an ideal field. So he even him behind the rum ball is what
17
is 16, which it gives it's a 10k at that point. So even him behind rum ball is great. And what I've noticed is Zazanda will, along with the other push, Zazanda will power becomes relevant after I believe 3 restands. He gets bigger than him. Otherwise, he hits just the same amount of attack as Zazanda does until Zazanda stands 3 to 4 times, I believe. So I tried doing the math, and he's worked really well. I mean, Zazanda's great, but I haven't really missed him. Plus, everybody just retires him at this point, so I don't care. And then finally, I love this card, Mr. Steelio Girl. His ability is Rush. Every time when he restands, he gains the ability that if he hits your opponent's Vanguard, you soul charge 1 and unflip 1, and that stacks. So every time he restands, he'll gain that ability, and then if he restands twice, he'll swing and activate his ability twice, unflip 2, soul charge 2.
Remember, you made him hit and you unflip like 4 damage.
I unflip 4 damage with this card. This deck, I made it specifically to be super counterblasty, heavy. Well, the deck itself already is counterblast heavy, but some of the decks that I have also counterblast, so I actually rely on him a lot. And I've noticed that you want to have a good ratio of units to restand and units to do restanding. So that's why I play 3/3. And he actually really liked this card. Okay, so grade 1s. As I said, flipping is a thing, so I have to play 3 of the Claydon mechanics, unfortunately. He doesn't really do anything besides the damage, but he's a 7k booster, you just put him behind the Vanguard, and you just set up for Buzzard. Bastard. For Stride Nameless, it's a Stride deck. You need the Victor name.
And you need a Stride.
You need the Stride. It's a Stride deck, so... Common. Okay, so MVP All-Star freaking card, Teriyaki. So Teriyaki, his ability is when if you have a Victor Vanguard, which is the important part, anytime something in front of him stands, he'll give the ability Rush to it. When it swings, give 2 units 4k. So and that stacks, and that's why this card is amazing. So you will, for example, you will have these 2 together, and what my point was. You would have this row, and you would swing for 12, right, unboosted. Stand him usually for a 5k boost, so he becomes 17. And now he gives the rush ability to him. Now, if he swings again, he'll give himself 4k. So 17 plus 4, he becomes 21, which is still a relevant number, and give 4k to the other unit. Then, if you restand him again, he'll probably get another 5k. He becomes 26, again another relevant number. And he'll swing. His ability will stack. He'll give 4k to 2 units, and then 4k to 2 units again. So he gives himself 8k if you need to. Now you go from 26 to 30, whatever.
Stop these numbers.
So that's why I'm playing this card, and that's why this card is amazing. Protect him with your life. He doesn't live. Nova Grappler. If you put him down as especially against a control deck. Put him down as your final turn and push. push for game because he won't live afterwards. So that's that. And finally, 4 of the new Perfect Guard because this deck has no defense at all. His ability is Counterblast 1. If you have another copy of him in the graveyard, you choose one of your units, and that unit gets the ability of Intercept and 10k shield. Yes, you lose a card from your field. I understand that. But I'd rather lose a card, and this deck doesn't really replenish their field much, but I'd rather lose a card from field than die.
And you can do it with a Glimmerbust clone.
Correct. So
once he did his job, he's done.
Correct. But that's why there's so much counterblasting in this deck that you need all the unflipping. Finally, for triggers, this is also another pain. I haven't been able to actually figure out what triggers I want to play.
But 4 heals is definitely.
4 heals, of course. Gundam, main reason I haven't played this deck is because giant robots. I don't like the girls.
But the cheerleader girls so
I don't
pretty.
play. I can't stand that. No, man. Giant robots. That's all you need. More robots. 5 draw for the gong. Because this, I've killed more people with draw triggers in this deck than actual units. It's great, and the gong has probably ended the lives of everybody I've met. It's great. For the gong, 4 of the unflip crit because unflip
is important.
Unflip and unflip. That's
and soul.
And soul, but that doesn't really become too much of a problem. And then 3 of the Victor one, just because he's shiny, he gets you a free card. Or he gets you a draw, not a free card because you lose him and take your shield. But he can basically exchange himself during the next turn for an actual relevant unit, and you can push with him early. And yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so for strides, my stride deck's not complete. I'm missing 1 card, which is annoying. Playing 4 of the Victor stride. This card is nuts. This card has the ability of Victor with more Victor in it. Essentially, he'll just restand 2 to 3 units and give them 5k just by swinging for free.
In GB3, 4 units.
No, well, he restands himself. At GB3, he'll restand 1, potentially 2, and then on Victor, he'll stand the 3rd one for a counterblast of 1. So this card is nuts. Should I read the ability?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so his ability is you flip a copy of himself, and he gains the ability of the on hit, where if he hits, you stand 1 of your units, give it 5k, and at GB3, he gains the ability that on swing he does the same thing, stand another unit and give it 5k.
Yep. It's between him and the other one. That's your first turn stride.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually you want he'll get you to GB2, and then this one will get you to
the kill.
Yeah. So 4, I don't have the 4th. Meteor Kaiser Bustard. Bastard.
Or busted.
Oh god, this card. This is the reason why you have to be really careful with your counterblasting. Everything in this deck counterblasts, but he himself counterblasts 2 if you activate his full ability, and counterblast of 1 if you don't. So you have to be careful with this card, especially in this deck. But his ability is on, let's see, you counterblast 1 and choose a face-up card on your G-Zone, not just himself. When he attacks, you pay the cost. If you do, stand 1 unit for every copy of himself face-up. And if you restand 2 or more units with his own effect, not Rumble, just with his own effect, you at the end of the battle, you can counterblast another one, discard 2, and he restands, and he keeps single drive. So he becomes, you have to have a full field, I'm sorry. You have to have 5 cards when all of that is resolved. So he has a lot of conditions, but he's essentially a restanding Vanguard that restands your field as well. So for a counterblast of 2.
Yep.
So he's usually a finisher. 2 of anti-Kagero, anti-Link Joker. I need him for those matchups. I'd play 4. I can't find the 4th, the 3rd and 4th, so I'm playing 2 for now. But anti-Kagero, and if they blow up your field, at least he pushes in pretty hard. I'm not even worried. 1 of that guy because I don't have more Media Kaiser Victor Plasmas. And 1 Seabreeze because
this is a stride deck, you need him.
Okay. I actually was thinking of cutting him out and just letting the format speak for me, because if I'm playing a stride deck, everybody thinks that I'm playing a Seabreeze. because you actually can't Sea Breeze too hard in this deck. You can't. She counterblast too hard. But since everybody has a Sea Breeze, I can kind of like reverse like psychology you into.
But then what if you do it against people that for some reason do play the Grade 2 game for no reason?
I mean, if they do,
Eric.
wow. We don't speak about him. And then 2 of the Nova Grappler, G Guardian, his ability is if you're losing or tied with your opponent, he becomes 20k shield.
But it comes down to the theory that Nova Grappler is just ow, ow, ow,
Yeah,
ow. Alright, it's my turn to punch you.
Yep. Yeah, Nova Grappler is just a like either I kill you or I die type of deck.
That's why I don't like this deck, and that's why I don't like Spike Brothers. They're the exact same deck.
Yeah.
Just called different names.
Yeah, exactly. Like this one will attack you a couple times continuously and gain a little bit of advantage, but essentially it is either I kill you my big turn or I die. Skyroot because I don't want to die, and then Dismal because rear guards actually matter in this deck. So yeah, that's it.
That is Nova Grappler, guys. That's Team Waterman signing off. Woo.